In this video, I'm going to discuss time series. Time series is one of the objects available in Kuibit, and as the name suggests, time series represent data on a monotonically increasing coordinate. These coordinates, usually the time, doesn't have to be evenly spaced, and the data can be real or complex. Time series is a part of the larger family of series, which I'm going to discuss in future videos. First, let's see how to create a time series, and let's see that time series supports all the mathematical operations. So here I have a piece of Python code. I import a NumPy, matplotlib, and a time series module from Kuibit. I define time and y1 and y2 as sine and cosine of that time. Then, to generate a time series is very simple. You just run time series with the time and the data. You can plot time series directly, as I'm doing here. plt.plot ps1. So let's try this. And what we see is what we expect, a sine wave. Now, let's create a second time series, this time with the cosine. For that, I'm going to create time series 2, in which I use the data y2. And we can plot both of them at the same time. And as we see, we have a sine and a cosine wave. What we can do is also we can combine these two time series. For instance, we can add them. In this case, there's a single time series, which is the sum of the two, or we can do things like multiplying them, or we can take the square root of one and multiply for the second one, and we're going to get interesting results. Time series comes with a lot of useful methods. For example, let's say that I want to take the derivative of ts1. What I can do is I can simply ts1 differentiate. And this will take the derivative of ts1. So let's try to see if the two are compatible. And what we see is that we have derivative of sine, which is the cosine, which is overlapping with the actual cosine. Everything works nicely. In Kuibit, we have this convention. This is a verb in the imperative form, which the convention is that this modifies the object in place. But I can have a new time series ts3 and use the past tense. Past tense always means return a new object. So we can try this, and this again works. And as we see, ts1 is not modified in place. Something quite useful is that we can obtain the value of the time series anywhere, not necessarily where it was defined. So for example, if I want the time series of the value of numpy.py, let's call this, and let's see what's the, actually it's a ts1. Let's see what's the return value, and this is the return value. The sine of pi is 0, and we get something that is close to 0. Kuibit uses splines, by default cubic splines, to determine this value. Time series is a very rich object, and I just scratched the surface of what time series can do. What I want to stress in this video is how time series is a very natural way to represent data. You can do all the mathematical operation you want to do, and there are a lot of useful methods, and you can get the value at any point. And in this, you don't have to worry about anything. Everything is taken care for you by Kuibit.